Hey everyone, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. Today's topic is for anyone who is concerned about the coronavirus or COVID-19. If you're over the age of 45 and especially over the age of 70 or know someone that is, such as like my own parents, if you have high blood sugar levels and or diabetic, and most importantly, if you have high blood pressure or are taking hypertension drugs. And I bring this all up because just recently, my 90-year-old aunt, my mom's sister, was just given a prescription about a month ago for high blood pressure, which this drug actually can make the COVID-19 stronger if she was to ever get it, and most certainly would cause her more illness and more problems, which we don't want, especially when she's at a high risk, age 90. And I spoke to her doctor, I said, do you have something else? And I told him why, and which I'm going to explain to you today. And he, of course, argued with me. To make a long story short, I told her, not to take the drug because of all this stuff, and her blood pressure wasn't massively high anyhow. So I put her on natural blood pressure lowering products and herbs and stuff, which in about 2 weeks, and her blood pressure improved. And I have all the details below in the description area, and I'll tell you more about all that in a couple of minutes. Again, the links are below. However, in one of my previous coronavirus videos, I stated how the majority of deaths from COVID-19 were of people who were already ill to begin with. And I'll give you a link to that original video in a bit. Basically, people who already have cancer, right, various diseases, maybe they have lung and kidney problems, they have heart disease, and the two biggest problems being diabetes and hypertension, being high blood pressure. In fact, high blood pressure seems to be one of the biggest drivers and movers of that COVID-19 more than any other health problem. Thus, if you have high blood pressure, you're at even higher risk of having problems with COVID-19. And this is also aligned with why COVID-19 affects more of the older people over the age of, for example, 45, and more specifically over the age of 70, like my own parents. And guess what? The older you get, the higher the blood pressure tends to be. So there's that correlation. And a primary reason for this, the higher blood pressure, is the negative changes in your hormones due to aging. All right. And I'll get more into specifics about hormones, aging, and high blood pressure in a bit. However, getting back to the coronavirus and high blood pressure. So why is high blood pressure such a big issue as it relates to COVID-19? Why is, making it much worse? And more so, why is taking certain blood pressure medications actually making the coronavirus stronger and thus potentially making you sicker and even causing death if you did get the coronavirus? Hence why earlier I told you about my aunt and I told her not to take the hypertension drug. I don't want to increase her risks because of all this. Well, the most recent research shows that COVID-19 can basically bind to a specific protein on the human cells called angiotensin converting enzyme. Basically, it's called ACE2. Now, I'm going to oversimplify all this to make sure it makes sense for all of us, including myself. But basically, COVID-19 gets into your body, right? Let's just say through your nose, your mouth, whatever it is, right? It now hangs out and interacts with ACE2. And then together they start to do some damage to your body, more specifically at your lungs, the intestines, kidneys, and blood vessels, but more so the lungs. Now get this, the ACE2 expression is upregulated and made stronger with people taking certain blood pressure ACE inhibitor drugs. All right. So people who take ACE inhibitor drugs, this ACE2 expression is even stronger. We don't want this. So the COVID-19 gets even stronger. Now, what's also interesting is that taking ibuprofen also increases the ACE2 expression. It upregulates it. Remember, we don't want this, which is why scientists tell people to take acetaminophen, such as Tylenol, and not ibuprofen, such as Advil or Motrin, if you're concerned that you may have COVID-19. If you have some pain, go for the Tylenol, not the Advil. Basically, these drugs are allowing the coronavirus to get stronger and do more damage. The ibuprofens, the Advil, and the Motrin are up-regulating the ACE2 receptor, making things much worse. So just as the ACE inhibitor, the hypertension drugs such as lisinopril or losartan, is actually also, again, increasing and upregulating the ACE2 receptor. These drugs are also causing all these problems. So again, let me summarize and make everything a little bit simpler and also give you some options, especially if you're concerned about high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and diabetes. All right, so the first is going back to the beginning. Let's say the coronavirus gets into your body, right? Now, it can get through different ways, your mouth, your eyes, your ears. This is why they tell you to keep washing your hands and not touch your face and all this stuff, right? But to many people, doesn't do much harm or much damage, because typically these people are younger and they're healthier and so on and so forth, right? So if you have health issues, you're more at risk. If you're older, you're more at risk. You're diabetic, you have high blood pressure, and all these things, you're more at risk, okay? So that's the number one thing. So we want to keep boosting the immune system. However, in the people that it does do the most harm, right, the coronavirus gets in, are again, typically people who are unhealthy, okay? Now, out of all these different health issues that we might have, the two worst health issues that make the coronavirus much stronger or more susceptible to problems with the coronavirus are people who are diabetic and basically have high blood sugar levels, and the number one being people who have high blood pressure, who have hypertension. Now, people who are taking hypertension drugs, such as ACE inhibitor drugs, this upregulates ACE2 receptor and thus making the coronavirus even stronger, actually 3 to 5 times stronger in the body of people taking these drugs. Also, taking drugs such as ibuprofen, Advil, and Motrin similarly upregulates the ACE2 receptor, again, making the COVID-19 stronger. All the things we don't want, all right? So what's the solution here? Well, this is the time for you to put even more effort into getting healthier, all right? Use this time to walk around and do more cardio and stuff to lose weight, okay? Because that obviously helps everything. And also eat less bad carbohydrates and sugars and so forth, so we can control your blood sugar levels, okay? And if you're diabetic type 1 and type 2, still, it improves everything in your body by controlling blood sugar naturally with better food choices. Now, if you are going to take some pain medication for whatever reason, take something with acetaminophen, which is Tylenol, and not ibuprofen, which would be Advil or Motrin. Also, you must improve your blood pressure. All right, remember, people with the high blood pressure got the most amount of damage with the COVID-19, all right, the lungs and so forth. This is why blood pressure gets into all these different areas. And if you're currently taking an ACE inhibiting drug to lower high blood pressure, my suggestion is you ask your doctor if you can switch to a different type of class of drug, all right? Maybe a calcium channel blocker. There's lots of different types of blood pressure medication. It seems that the ACE inhibiting ones are causing the most problems because they upregulate and strengthen the ACE2 receptor, which again makes COVID-19 3 to 5 times stronger. All right. Now the problem is, unfortunately, I can't guarantee you speaking to your doctor, they'll listen, okay? You can express your concerns. You can tell them, hey, I did research. You can show them this video. You can tell them, go do Google search or whatever. Many times the doctor just won't listen, okay? This is unfortunate, and they're not up to speed, some of them are. And this is exactly what I have to deal with my own aunt, all right? So, or, you can do what I do with my own family, what I did with my own aunt, which I've done for my own parents, improve their blood pressure naturally, just using specific vitamins and herbs and amino acids, which I put a link below to the different solutions that my family and I use, including one that my dad has used for years. There's a link below in the description area about what we've done, okay? Of course, I'm not here to give you any medical advice. I don't know your medical history. I don't know anything about you, okay? You need to always speak to your doctor before you do anything and use some common sense. This is the perfect time for you to do research. But again, if you are concerned about COVID-19, as we all are, if you have high blood pressure, this is the time you need to really put in some extra effort. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. In the meantime, this is the best time for you to continue to improve your health and stay healthy, physically as well as mentally and emotionally, all right? Keep washing your hands, keep thinking positive thoughts, try not listening to the news so much with all that negativity, all right? Make sure you get a lot of good sleep, all right, to boost your immune system. Get outside and see sunlight. The sun is antimicrobial. It helps improve so many things in life. It also helps lower blood pressure, all right? And below, I've got links in the description area, also at the end of this video, about more information on different ways to lower your blood sugar, lower your blood pressure, products that I've used for both of these, what my father does, what my aunt uses to lower blood pressure, and so on and so forth. Again, stay positive. As always, thanks for watching and have a happy and healthy day.